Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Babi and you are currently watching Babi's Guide on Europa Universalis IV. So I decided to make this guide on Europa Universalis IV because I looked on the internet, I didn't really see good tutorials. Most of them are either not good or are just extremely dated because the game gets updated constantly. So this one is good for version 1.9 and I'll try to keep this updated as much as possible. So for now, we are going to stay very superficial, no complicated stuff. The game is very complicated. It is not really hard. It takes a lot of time and effort to learn the game and master the game. So you've got to pay a lot of attention. That's why I'm not going to make these guides too long. I'm going to make sure that they are short and that they cover what needs to be covered in that episode. I'm going to try to be as elaborate as possible and I'll try to be as educated as possible. Now this is coming from a player that has over 1,000 hours of gameplay in Europa Universalis IV, so it would be safe to assume that I know a thing or two about this game. So, at the very beginning, we see this screen. The Europa Universalis IV is a 4X game. It is a strategy game. And as said before, it is rather hard to learn, or it takes a lot of time and effort. It has got a very steep learning curve. But before we even go into the game, let's talk what the game is about. The game is about guiding your nation through time. The ledger, or the playable dates, range from 1444, nearing the end of the medieval age, towards 1821, the restoration of the Ancien regime. So you can choose either of those, or any date between those two, and start playing in those dates. You can actually pick any country that existed in that day, even countries that technically were not independent. But yeah, we'll go more into depth about that. It is not a game. It's not an RTS. You can it's grand strategy, and you can pause whenever you want and manage your empire that way. You are an omnipresent ruler, which means you do not resemble a monarch of a country. You resemble some sort of god that watches over your country. With that being said, let's go through the options that we have here. We have single player, which we are going to go into rather soon, and we've got multiplayer. Well, multiplayer is something you might want to do if you have a friend that plays Europa Universalis IV and you want to become more experienced in the game. You want to get taught by that person. Otherwise, I do recommend staying away from multiplayer for now. Then we've got tutorial. Don't even bother with that. While I love this game a lot, the tutorial, you know, it's inexcusable, but it's not updated since, I think, the first version. And then we've got the credits, and yeah, credits where credits are due, of course. Then we've got the options. Let's go into options first. Now, we've got the game options over here, and that's over here it says auto-save interval. Now, you want to keep this on yearly. That is because you do forget to you do forget to save, so you do want to auto save. You can put it off if you think performance is it suffers too much from it, but I do recommend just keeping it yearly. Then we can auto save to cloud. That is more or less your preference. Same goes for compressed auto saves. That just limits the size of the saves, I think. But it also takes a lot longer to auto-save, so keep that in mind. Then we go to the video settings. This will differ for any player. You can change the resolution and whatever. I guess if you are a PC gamer, you know about this. Not much explanation needed here. Then we've got audio. You can change this whatever you want. The game tends to be very loud compared to other games, so I do recommend screwing around over here. And then we've got the scroll speed and zoom speed. I keep this intact, but you might want to change this. There are more options to the game, and we'll go into that as soon as we have actually launched a game. Now, let's click on single player and we'll set up a game. Now, you might have noticed that the camera is aimed at Europe. And it's a direct surroundings. Northern Africa we got here, and we've got some Asia here, and, well, we don't actually got all of Europe, but we see all these names here and borders, but it's hard to differentiate the countries. So what you might want to do is go to political map mode, and we do that by either pressing W or clicking on this blue little flag here. We can even go to religious map mode, which will show you the religions within the empire, and some other map modes that won't tell you too much if you are an extreme beginner. So let's go and stay on political map mode. We see a lot of countries here, and we can actually select any country here. You see the religion differing and a lot of other stuff differing, but that is not important for now. That's going to be for another day. But for the options, we can actually change the starting date. You can go to any date that we wish, and the developers over at Paradox have done something nice. You can click any of the suggested starting dates and the recommended countries for those dates. So over here we've got the Rise of the Ottomans, which is going to be the initial start date for the game. I do recommend starting here. It is the best for either beginners, and even I always start at 1444. That doesn't happen often that I start later than that. But we could go to 7 Years' War, and it would recommend us some countries. See over here, the political landscape has changed significantly. But we'll say at the Rise of the Ottomans, and over here we see the coat of arms of various countries. As I said before, these are countries that are recommended. But we do see a difference here. We see some coat of arms that have a green glow, which, as the tooltip already tells you, is a country that is recommended for new players. And I must agree with this, especially the Ottomans. They are, in my opinion, the easiest country in the game. Now, over here in the left bottom, we have a box that says Ironmen Mode. And Ironmen Mode prevents you from tempering the save game. So you cannot cheat, and you cannot reload your game. It's auto-saves, I think, monthly, and with certain actions that are taken. This is for players that want a challenge, so that they can't cheese out of their challenges and reload to a point where everything went right. Then we've got Random New World. This comes with a DLC, so I won't go over that right now. We can choose a random nation if you are uninspired, but I do not recommend that for new players. So let's click on the Ottomans again, and we'll go into options here, as there are a lot of game options here that herefore were not mentioned. So we'll go over them right now. We can choose to put on bonnet bonuses, and the game is going to be generous and show you the tooltip and show you the exact same or the exact things that you will be granted as a bonus. Now, I do not recommend putting, or I do recommend putting this on if you're a beginner. All these modifiers won't tell you too much if you don't know the game too well, but put it on none. If you want. If you want it to be easy, but if you want a more of a challenge, put it on AI, so that AI becomes a bit better and more challenging. I don't like changing the options, but you can do that. The AI difficulty, you can put that on easy. I don't think it actually makes the AI worse. I think it actually makes them less aggressive, so less likely to attack you. And then we've got Lucky Nations. Lucky Nations gives various bonuses to well, if you put it on historical, which is the default setting, it gives various bonuses to countries that are supposed to prosper and grow into large nations or large empires. But you can change it to random, or you can change it to none. Now, if you are going to choose the aforementioned Ironmen Mode, it's going to be on historical regardless. You can't change all of these options. I think there's only one option you can change if you put it on Ironmen Mode. So bear that in mind. Then we've got the Terra Incognita in lobby. It's Terra Incognita's land you can't see. Not really important. Use dynamic provinces. That is for people that want flavour in the game, and I do recommend putting that on if you like that. If you like to read province names that you can actually pronounce, put it on no. Don't do that. Then there's some options for multiplayer. Is not going to be... it's not going to make any difference now, as we are going to play a single-player game. So let's choose cancel. Select the country you want to play. You can see some additional information over here. We won't know what this means if we are a beginner. So we'll just click play down at the bottom right there. Now the game is going to be initialized. As you might see, it's going to load up the country in question. And it might take a while. Depending on the performance of your computer, you might have a good computer, you might not. But here we are once again, and we see that we have the terrain map mode as we had in the menu, and we can do the exact same thing as we did before. We can go and press W. But some of you might not remember all the shortcut keys. So you can actually open the menu here, and you can select the map mode that you want. You can actually also customize the icons that are shown here, the map modes. I've set up these map modes. You might want to set up other map modes. But you can open this up, and many of them are not going to tell you anything right now. But you might want to select political map mode just to make it easier on the eyes, see the difference between countries. So there we go, there's political map mode. And yeah, we can pause the game. The game starts paused, and you can unpause the game. So then the timer is going to run. Over here you see the dates changing. You can increase speed whilst having the game pause. You can also do this while running the game. And you can change all these things as you please. You can't obviously go back in time, but you can change this at the go. So that is rather convenient. If you are a seasoned player, you might want to play on a higher speed. But if you are a starting player, I do recommend playing on 2 or 3. Not much higher than that, I'm afraid. And if there are boring or dull parts in your campaign that you want to skip, then I do recommend putting it on speed 5. But most of the times, you won't do that, believe me. Alright, that covers most of the stuff here. But how do we actually exit the game? Well, we've got a menu right here, and you can click that. You can also press the escape key, which is rather usual for most games. We have the option to load a game. We have the option to save a game. We can actually change the options whilst in game. We can exit to menu, and we can exit the game. These are all kind of self-explanatory. So yeah, you can look around there. For now, for the very beginners, I do recommend you just look around and read some tooltips. Don't actually unpause the game, just read stuff. The game is very informative, but you must take your time reading stuff. Also, yeah, don't hesitate to watch my tutorials. Obviously, I'm going to say that. But if this was useful, please leave a like. Make sure you follow, so that you'll see any updates coming. I'll put out many more guides, so just to cover any subject within the game. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. Cheers.